You already know what time it is, man. Back here to serve some more game on the ground for them hungry hounds. We just got the pound. And we're ready for the next round. I tell you what, man, I hate mid-season allergies. I hate them. One nostril stays clogged up, makes it hard to breathe. So in order to breathe right properly, you gotta breathe slower so you don't and then suffocate because you can't get enough air through that nostril. It is what it is, man. I'm just letting Keisha out about it. Everybody's body reacts differently to nature. So with that being said, man, come on in. We chillin'. You already know what time it is. We back to the social more game on the ground for them hungry hounds. I just got the pound and are ready for the next round. Just like the episode title says. Perception clouds judgment. Perception clouds judgment. And this is a fact. And I know it for a fact because it's happened to me. Sometimes it still does happen to me. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes my perception be clouding my own judgment. Happens to all of us. Because you judge certain things that happen based on how you see it. Which is why we as human beings will always be biased in our judgment because we don't see things for how it's truly supposed to be. So with that being said, our judgment can never truly, fully be right because we're not seeing the whole thing. That's a fact. That's just how it is. We're not seeing the whole thing. And I don't know if y'all can hear that wind or not, but that wind is howling. Like, it sounds like there's demons outside screaming. It's howling so crazy. But because our perception is often clouded by what we see, what we feel, what we hear, it's constantly clouded. So we can never give a proper judgment. Even a judge's judge, a legal judge's perception gets clouded sometimes. That one is crazy. Sounds like it's out there knocking stuff down. I don't know if y'all can hear that or not. But anyways, a judge's judgment gets clouded by perception. There was this judge who rightfully gave this person a life sentence, but no parole, no bail, nothing. Reason being was she deleted an infant by way of a long, shiny metal sharp object. And rightfully so, the judge was judging with his feelings and his emotions because it was a baby that was deleted. But he judged out of emotion. His perception was clouded because of his emotion, because of what he saw, how he saw the case, what he read. His judgment was clouded by his perception. And he said that he's locking the defendant up forever. She's never getting out, and he hopes that she rots in her cell forever. And he hopes that she gets the worst punishment she could receive in that prison. He judged with his emotions. Therefore, his judgment was clouded by his perception. The way he perceived the case, what he read, what he saw standing before him, no remorse. His judgment was clouded. Which goes to show you, human beings will always have a clouded judgment. A human being's judgment will never truly be a just and righteous judgment because we don't see what it really is because we're always clouded by our emotions, by our feelings, our thoughts. That's why when it says that God is a righteous and just God, it's because he doesn't judge based off of his emotions or his feelings. He sees the full picture because he's always watching. Always watching. That's what he judges you off of. He doesn't judge you because he feels like you broke his law and he's mad because you sinned. So he says, I'm mad at you, so I'm going to send you to Hades. He says, you know what? You broke my rules. I gave you plenty of chances to stop breaking my rules. You didn't want to stop. This is your judgment. He doesn't let his feelings get involved, doesn't let his emotions get involved. He's a just and righteous judge. That's why human judges will always, at times, fail at doing their job. And that's why so many people are quick to pass judgment on others. Their perception is clouded. You don't know the real story. Just like everybody, oh man, I side with this side. No, I side with that side. Oh, well, you side with this side. Man, F you, do this, do that, whatever. No, man, well, you and I'm going to do this to you, I'm going to do that to you, and what? No. People have lost friendships and brotherhoods because one person sided with one side and one person sided with the other side over the conflict that's going on, which is crazy. You can agree to disagree. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. You choose your side. See, opinions should never warrant the destruction of a bond between two people. Whether it's a brotherhood bond, brother and sister. Whether it's a brotherly bond, and I can't get this off my screen. Why can't this go off my screen? Thank you. Whether it's a brotherlyhood bond, mother and son, father and son, brother and sister, whatever the case may be, sister and sister. No opinion should warrant the destruction of a bond. If it does, that bond was never truly there, which is held together by super glue and duct tape. And then it fell apart until it was no longer useful. It's just what happens. So if you allow your friends or your brother's opinion, or your mother's opinion, or your father's opinion, or your uncle's opinion, or auntie's opinion, whatever, to say, you know what, because you think like this, I don't like you anymore, so don't ever talk to me again. You're weak. Because you can't stand the fact that somebody else doesn't think like you got to cut them off. That's wild to me. Everybody is different. Everybody thinks differently. Everybody acts differently. Because if we didn't, there would be no point in us being us. If we did not think differently than each other, act differently than each other, there would be no point in us being us, because we would all just be robots doing the same thing, thinking the same thing, saying the same things, acting on the same things, which is exactly what they want you to be. They want you to be a robot, which is also a sheep. They don't want you to think by yourself. They want you to think, oh man, well, this is what they say, so this is what I'm going to say. Instead of saying, this is what they say, so let me do some research and see if this is what they're saying is true. And if it is, then I'll believe what they say. But if it ain't, then what they say. They don't want you to be like that. They want you to follow them like a lost dog. They want you to hang on every single word they tell you. They will always keep you under control somehow. And guess what they do it with? They will twist narratives, put certain words together, put certain things in motion. They'll tug on your heartstrings, make you start getting scared, whatever the case may be, to get you to think a certain way. They herd you into the pen. You ever see how a sheepdog herds the sheep into the sheep pen? That's what they do to you. You are the sheep, and the pen is the way of thinking, the way of acting, what they want you to do. Crazy. Don't be the sheep. Instead, be a shepherd. Lead people to freedom, free thinking, free opinions. I don't know what that was. I just got a notification saying that I'm using too much memory, which doesn't make any sense because a TikTok live doesn't take memory. And it said that if I use too much, the system might crash. Isn't that kind of weird how we talk about what we're talking about and it's threatening a system crash on me because of memory usage? When a TikTok live has nothing to do with memory usage, that's wild to me. Now, recording drafts does. Recording drafts, TikTok drafts, and saving TikTok drafts, that uses memory. But as far as I know, a TikTok live don't got nothing to do with no memory unless you download it. They trying to stop you. They want you to stay down. They don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to rise. They want you to stay down. And they do that by putting certain things in motion. Tugging on your heartstrings, fear-mongering, all that stuff. It's crazy. That's what they do with the conflict. They make stories of each individual side. And they spin a narrative on it and say, this is what we're going to put after the people so they believe this side. What they're doing, and you don't even realize it, what they are doing is dividing you even more. Oh, I side with this side. Well, I side with this side. Well, you know what? We're going to fight each other because you side with that side and I side with... They're dividing you even more. Dividing you even more. Just like with the whole idea of privilege, they're dividing you even more. Even more. They are dividing you. So you remain opposed to each other. So you never look at your neighbor and say, hey neighbor, let's team up, huh? They don't want you to look at your neighbor and ask him to team up. Because they know that once we all get together and we work on the same team, guess what? They are vastly, greatly outnumbered. There will be nothing that they can do to stop it. And they don't want that, so they do whatever they can, spin whatever narrative they want to, as far as, the police deleting to the conflict going on, children, women. They'll spin whatever narrative they need to keep us all from coming together, to keep us all opposed. And the messed up part is, you guys fall for it every single time. Y'all fall right into their trap every single time without even realizing it. Why? Because you're a blindfolded sheep thinking that you're being led by the shepherd, but really you're being led by the deceiver. Straight to the deletion house. And you don't even know it. You don't even know it. And it's a shame. You don't know where you're going. How can you go somewhere if you don't know where you're going? Tell me that ain't goofy. How are you going somewhere when you don't know where you're going? Let me say that one more time. How can you go somewhere when you don't know where you're going? Your GPS say it's taking you one place, but the route that it's taking you to is a completely different place. It switched routes overnight and you didn't even know it. It say it's taking you a shorter way, it's taking you another way somewhere else. It's a shame. You fall right for the trap every single time. But anyways, on to the next topic. Your boy Travis Scott finally did something that people should have been doing a long time ago. So there is a concert that he played at recently. You all know between each different artist, performer, rapper, band, whatever it is, whoever it is playing, between each setup they play music just to kind of keep you a little entertained. Just to say, hey man, don't go away, don't fall asleep. Here's some music, babe. We're gonna put it on. All right, here you go. They put on that music. Well, one of them songs when he was coming out was of that red chick. You already know the one that I refuse to say the first part of her name because it's all cap. That one. It was one of her songs that was playing, and as he was coming out for his performance, he shut it off. He turned off her song because he don't like her music, and he said, "We need more rappers to tell these 3 foes that this ain't it. They doing way too much." So he finally did what he was supposed to do by telling these 3 foes, "Look, you're doing way too much, and you need to stop." They're not gonna stop though. I don't care what he say. I'm getting my bag. He just jealous. He this, he that. He mad that he's not as big as I am. Whatever. No, because every time somebody says something about you, guess what? You get all up in your feelings. You get all up in your feelings every time somebody say, "No, you're doing too much. You gotta chill out." No, you just mad because you're not doing what I'm doing. No, I'm telling you to chill out because there's certain people that are watching you that are too young, and you just mad. Look, there it goes again. What about me using too much memory and the system may crash? But there's nothing going on. It says please close all background apps that might be using up memory. There's no background apps going on. It don't make no type of sense. It is what it is. But we need more people within the industry to tell these 3 folks to chill out. But the sad thing is, there's always going to be people outside of the industry who support them. Always. Always, always, always. Crazy, crazy, crazy. People would rather see 3 folks taking cake on camera, shaking their melons, rapping about their caves being wet, rapping about not having nothing on underneath because they gotta let the cave breathe. The goofiest song I have ever heard. The goofiest song I have ever heard is her talking about, "I ain't got no peepees on, gotta let my doo-doo breathe." That is the goofiest song I've ever heard in my entire life. My entire life. I would much rather listen to Blueface than that. I would rather listen to What Does the Fox Say than that. I would rather listen to the Minecraft theme than that. I would rather listen to any instrumental song that has no lyrics than that song. It is the goofiest song I've ever heard in my entire existence. And I've heard some pretty goofy songs. I've heard some pretty goofy songs. You can't make it up. But that right there takes the cake. No sense at all whatsoever. No sense of direction, no sense of self-respect or respect for other people. Just straight up. And whoever is giving her all this money, giving her all this clout, that keep pushing her up in the algorithm in the industry, whatever, they need to just go ahead and jump in a square rectangular thing that goes down about, 5, 6, 7 feet in the ground. They need to jump in that. Because what going through your mind to make you think, yeah, we got to push this out. This is the best. No, terrible, absolutely terrible. See, if I was y'all's manager, if I was y'all's corporate, you'd have been fired a long time ago. You'd have been fired a long time ago if I was y'all's man. If I was the corporate of these record labels, would have fired the people who push Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, uh, that red chick. I would have fired all the people who be pushing those people up, because they don't got no reason, no business. They all talk about the same stuff. Same stuff. They all talk about the same stuff. There's no diversity. So I would have been fired, whoever is in charge of all of that. Crazy. Absolutely insane. Another thing I want to speak on is how the industry and the people in it always find themselves mocking God. Your boy Trippie Redd decided to post a picture of himself earlier today. He had on a face mask. It was like a leather one. But on the face mask was sewn of an image of Jesus. Of him supposed to be on the cross, but it was on his mask instead. And I don't know what his goal was in wearing that. I don't know what he thought was going to happen in wearing that. But let me just tell y'all something, bro. Y'all got to quit messing around with God. You think it's all fun and games until he spanks you. You think it's all fun and games until he takes away the very thing that you have so much love and self-respect for. You think it's all fun and games until he leaves you with literally nothing. Nothing. You in the industry, you think it's all fun and games until he leaves you with no views, no plays, nobody listening to your music, you done got canceled, nobody's buying your tickets, you only got like 500 ticket sales. You think it's all fun and games. But it ain't. It ain't. So y'all gonna learn. If y'all haven't learned from seeing previous events, like in Brazil, they had that parade of Satan being paraded through the streets, and Jesus was being dragged by demons and being whipped upon and beaten and all this. The next few days after that, they had the most massive, destructive flooding happen through those very same streets. God don't play around. You think it's all fun and games, so you find out. Go around and find out. That's what's going to happen. You keep playing these games, you're going to find out real quick. You might take your family, your career, your personal belongings, your money. He might even just take you out because he don't like the way you acting. Y'all got to quit messing with God. So you don't play no games. He don't play no games. So y'all got to stop. One last thing I want to speak on. Before I get up on out of here. Your boy Terry Joel Jr. He uploaded a video today. He said needed to hear this. Well, you know what? That's what we do. We say what needs to be heard, whether you want to or not. But your boy Terry Joel Jr. uploaded a video earlier today, like he usually does. He be on his grind. In this video, he talked about 304s and what he does when they slide into his DMs and they're in a relationship or not. If they are, he tells them straight up, I don't deal with 304s that are in a relationship. You can get on somewhere. Well, this one chick found him at the gym one time. Found his Instagram afterwards. Hit him up. Started talking to him, whatever. She said she was in a relationship. He told her what he told her, like he usually does. She made up all these different lies about how she gonna end the relationship because she's bored in it. She don't like it no more. She fell out of love in it. Whatever lies she came up with. So eventually he started believing her. So they started talking back and forth, in an adulterated way. It got to the point where she would drive around. She'd pick him up. They'd go drive around. And she wouldn't do anything but gossip to him about her boyfriend that she in a relationship with. Now, the worst part about all of this, the chick in question was a police officer. A police officer. Probably a patrol officer, patrolling certain areas of town, whatever, just doing her duty. And while she was patrolling, she had him in the front seat of her squad car, just gossiping away about her boyfriend. Now, what I imagine is how many suspects did she gossip to as well? That's what's wild to me. She be arresting them. She put them in handcuffs. Ooh, your hands are bigger than my boyfriend's. I wonder what else is bigger. Or some stupid crap like that. I can only imagine what it would be like. I'm going to get you out of here because I don't know what you're talking about. Imagine the co-workers that she gossips to. Her boss that she gossips to. Her friends, her family. Strangers, as you clearly see, because she talked to him. She don't even know him. He don't know her. They're strangers to each other. She gossiping to him. See, this is what's wrong. So these days, in a relationship, somebody never truly ain't yours. It's just your turn to be with them. And it's a shame that it's come to that in this day and age, but it has. Nobody is ever yours. It's just your turn to take them for a test drive. They are the vehicle on the lot that always gets driven, test driven, but never gets bought. It never gets bought. Nobody wants it. Or if it does get bought, it gets returned. It gets repossessed. Payments ain't been made on it. You're late. You don't got no insurance on it either. You can't afford it, so it gets repossessed. That's what these 304s be like. The vehicle on the lot that always never gets bought. Gets repossessed, test driven all the time, but nobody wants it. Or nobody can keep it. That's a shame. Nobody should ever be like that, but the thing is, they turn themselves into that, and we as men allowed it to happen. See, the thing in society is that nothing has ever happened unless men have allowed it to happen. Because men run society. They rule society. They're the most... I'm not going to go that far on this platform, but they run society, they built society, they're in charge of society, whatever the case may be. So, I mean, nothing can happen unless a man allows it to happen within society. Men as a whole, we allowed it to happen. We started accepting Tarzans, we allowed them into the communities, and now look what happened. Started accepting female Tarzans. Started accepting Transformers. Some people trying to get you to accept maps, which is absolutely disgusting. Now we accepted the feminine movement. We accepted all this stuff. If we had just put our foot down and said, no, this isn't what's going to happen, none of this would have happened. We wouldn't be in none of this mess. These 304s wouldn't be out of hand. They wouldn't be having 300 bodies during the summer. Crazy. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. It doesn't help that we have role models who do the same stuff for them to look up to on social media. Doesn't help at all. It's a shame. It's disgusting. They target this content towards children in a way that it doesn't seem like it's targeted towards children. How do they do that? Well, they know now that children have social media these days. So what do? They put it all over social media. All over social media. Words of wisdom from the heart. If you got judgment to make on somebody, make sure your perception is clear. You need every side of what is going on that you're judging. Clear perception always clouds judgment. Always. No matter how you look at it. So if you want a clear perception of it, ask God. Ask God to give you a clear perception of what it is that you're judging. And go from there. But they target this content to this younger audience. Oh, well, these kids have social media, so we're going to plaster it all over social media for children to see. We're not going to say it's for children, but it is for children, but we're just showing it for the adults to see, but we're making it easy to access for kids to see because it's going to be right there in front of their face. That's how they get it. They go through the loopholes. They created a system, but they know the loopholes in their system. That's how they get away with so much stuff, because they know the loopholes. It's just like if somebody who creates a game, you know the glitches, you know how to beat the game faster than anybody else. You created the game, you know the loophole in the game. Same thing. You know? So yeah, man. It's wild out here. You got little boys wearing crop tops. Absolutely insane, disgusting. Lil Wayne's son out here wearing crop tops. And he probably like 8 years old, 9 years old, probably like 7. Absolutely disgusting. Shameful. That being said, man, I gotta get up on it. I got some other things I gotta take care of, so make sure y'all share with your friends, your families, members, your aunties, your grannies, and everybody else that y'all know. So with that being said, I'm getting out of here. Your boy Maki will be live later on around 12, so make sure y'all go tap into that as well. And I'm getting up out. Deuces.